So the past few days I've actually been thinking about the subject on gratitude. And ideally I've been thinking of it in how my life has actually transitioned from bad to good and good to bad. Yes, both ways and everything. So there's been moments where like life was really tough, like you barely survive, bare minimum I'd say, and everything. Like you would look forward to a meal in a day, you'd look forward to an opportunity. But with time, we tend to not pretty much think about how it was and how it is right now. So sometimes we get to focus on what pretty much is in the present. And there's nothing wrong about thinking what's in the present. And again, there's nothing wrong with forgetting about the past, but there's also everything right about looking at where you come from, like where your past brought you to where you are in the present and everything. That also is going to help us pretty much look into the future and everything. So in a moment where life is going on okay, it's worth it to just pause and pretty much look at a comparative analysis of where it was before it is where it is and everything. Let's say you buy a bicycle today. You pretty much have to remember that there was a moment where you would walk on foot and everything. And let's say you buy a car, you'd also have to remember that there was a time when you used to ride a bicycle, and now you have a car. Let's say you buy a jet. There's a moment where you have to think about you had a car, but now you're flying, either way and everything. And by virtue of actually thinking about that, we get to cultivate within us a sense of gratitude. But if each and every single moment where we get to have achievements in our lives and we don't think about that moment to where we are right now, we tend to lose a sense of reality, a sense of saying, okay, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for the relationships I have, I'm grateful for the material stuff I have, I'm grateful for the peace that I have. You see, the definition of peace is the absence of conflict. So when there's peace, we also have to remember that there was a certain moment where we had like conflict and vice versa and everything. So gratitude has been pretty much about that for me. Like if I have to be grateful, if I have to put in the energy in whatever I'm doing at that moment, I remember to say, okay, before this moment and everything, this is what actually happened, this is where it was, and this is where we are, and this is where I'm going and everything. Not that I'm so perfect at it, but ideally I've just been thinking to say, okay, look, if I can cultivate that sense of gratitude at every given moment of life for every single thing in the present, it's going to help me to look at the future with clarity and with purpose in that moment and everything. So gratitude is a virtue that I feel as we grow up, as we navigate life, like it's something that we pretty much have to hold on to. It could be in school, like at some point maybe you wrote a test and you got a 10%. At some point you wrote the same test, probably got 30%. Of course, that 30% is below the pass mark, maybe the pass mark is 50. But trust me, you have to remember that there's a moment where you got a 10 and you probably got 30. So there's moments to learn from. But there's also moments to learn from. It was great, now it's down there. It's pretty much very difficult to say, okay, what can I learn from? How can I be grateful from failure and every single thing that's not gone right? It takes like a lot of courage, but the moment we begin to look at each and every single moment and finding gratitude in that, I feel like we'll be more thankful for life, we'll be more thankful for the opportunities that we come across, and just generally be at peace in how we navigate life and everything. Frustrations come as a result of not being grateful for what life gives us, no matter what happens and everything. So those have been my thoughts for the past few days on gratitude. Yeah, and I hope you can pick it up from there as well. Like, just be grateful for everything that surrounds you, for everything that you have, for everything that you're yet to have.